Happy Woman Crush Wednesday and welcome to your favorite morning talk show. This is Smell the Coffee. You're joined by Diana Master and the ever so gorgeous Aina Riza Quayo. How are you doing today, my darling?
I am doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's Woman Crush Wednesday.
It is Wednesday. The week is going by so fast. Actually, these 2 months, October, and I think just the beginning of November already, it's flying. It's flying.
Definitely is. In all honesty, I feel like this year just went by. I don't even remember July happening. Did July even happen? Did May even
Weren't
happen?
you the one that was always saying, let's push, it's almost December?
I manifested December.
Well,
I manifested December. My manifestation powers are out of this world.
Yeah.
Imagine I manifested December.
Imagine.
Wow.
A true manifester.
Let me manifest $1 million. No, you said 7 million for you.
8 million.
8. It changes every time.
No, it has always been 8.
Wasn't it 7?
No, it's 8.
Okay, I'll manifest $8 million for you.
Please, man. Please, it's very important. I need that money. I need that shmoney.
That's shmoney. Okay, so tell me, would you ever date anyone famous?
Sure.
Do you think you have what it takes to date someone famous? Not in terms of looks.
What does it take to date someone who's famous?
Okay, so when I say dating someone famous and having what it takes, I don't mean like the looks. I mean, do you have that, what's the word? Like basically, can you keep up with all the fans throwing themselves at them? Can you keep up with these rumors and things like that?
It depends on the fame of the partner.
Okay.
Like if it's Trevor Noah, like that's some extreme fame, you know. If it's a local artist, then
let's talk someone who is worldwide known, like who's world famous.
No, I would be too insecure.
Okay.
I could never date like a Trevor Noah or a Drake. Like that's too much.
Insecure in terms of what?
Just like I might know that I'm hot and I'm intelligent and all those things, but just the competition, knowing that, okay, there is competition, this person has 10 other million people throwing themselves at him. What makes me think I'm special? This person could literally get another person.
Delusion. That's what makes you special. Delusion. You must just tell yourself it doesn't get any better than me.
This, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you can tell yourself all those nice things, right? But the reality is really different from what is in our head.
It's true. It's true. And also just being in the public, you know, you're in the limelight. You gain 2 kgs. It's Diana's pregnant. It's like, guys, I was just bloated. Jeez. You lose weight. Oh, she's being stressed out. That time you actually bumped into a window. Her husband is so abusive.
Yes.
It's very difficult. But again, me being Delulu, because the Lulu is the Salulu, I believe I can. Delulu is
the Salulu.
The Salulu, okay?
Love.
So, of course, I always wanted to be a wag. Like, oh gosh, I believe I was meant to be a wag.
We need to take you to Miami and become a wag. I actually see wagness for you.
You see?
I see the wagness.
You see it. You see it, right? I'm glad you see it.
Definitely on a yacht somewhere drinking champagne with
drinking
friends.
Champagne. Don't we just, I look like that, right?
Yeah,
I give off those vibes. Okay, I'm glad you do.
I don't know, we just need to get you like a nice basketball player now.
Oh, we can give you a basketball player.
One that is trending.
One that is trending, one that has the height.
Yes. And one that is traveling the world.
You know, and then I'm just there like at the games. I'm like...
And you must have children now. All WEGs only have children.
Yes, that's my job. That's literally my job.
All they do.
And then at the game, I'm just sitting there and I'm just...
And then they book a yacht.
You know?
And then they're like, oh, so today Damien is playing against XX. I'm just here for support. But then I invited 200 other people, you know, just to
my
sit
entourage.
in the VIP with me and, you know,
I don't
cheer him
there
on.
Alone. Because I don't want to sit there alone.
WEG life. I used to enjoy WEGs a lot. Such an interesting life to live.
It is. I mean, if you watched Cristiano Ronaldo's girlfriend's reality show, honestly, that's going to be me. Like, yeah, so today we're just going to fly out to Paris because I feel like, no, not even for breakfast, just for breakfast because I'm craving a croissant, you know? Yes.
I want these nice problems.
Yes! The only stress I should have is what am I going to wear? That's it. Of which I can't even stress about that because I have stylists to do that for me. For kids, I have 3 nannies, 1 for each child. That's how it's supposed to be.
As it should be.
As it should be. And as I've said it right now, so it shall be. We will be right back after the break with more interesting Smell the Coffee. All right, getting into our top stories now. Earlier on, we were asking, do you have what it takes to date someone famous? Reason I ask this is because there's a woman that tried to kiss Siya Kolisi during East London Trophy tour. We've heard many women say that if they could date any of the Springboks, it would be Siya Kolisi. But this woman clearly wanted more than just a date from the South African rugby team's captain. On Sunday afternoon, a video of a woman trying to kiss Kolisi surfaced and soon went viral. The captain, who has been doing a celebratory Rugby World Cup trophy with the rest of the team since they got back from France, just ended their tour in East London. As in the other cities, Johannesburg, Cape Town and Durban, the rugby champs were welcomed by thousands of fans who lined the streets to catch a glimpse of their heroes as they made their way through various areas. The tour ended at the City Hall where, as he got off the bus, a woman ran up to Kolisi and almost jumped on top of him to try and plant a kiss on him. In the video clip that has been plastered all over X, one can clearly see the captain push her away as soon as she got close to him. The police escorts quickly stepped in and pulled her away from him. Many X-users responded and reposted the video, with some people finding it amusing, while many considered it harassment.
It is harassment.
Like,
okay, maybe not. Maybe she's just like an extreme fan and she couldn't control herself. I don't know what to call it. It's in between. I can't really say it's harassment. Maybe it's just excitement.
No.
To see that, okay, my hero is here. Oh my gosh. And then
you try to kiss him?
Or maybe it's intentional. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's intentional.
You know how sometimes, again, going back to Delulu is the Salulu, where you're like, the minute he sets his eyes on me, it's done. He's going to fall head over heels in love with me. He just needs to see me, and then it's done. So maybe that's what she thought. She's like, if I kiss him for sure.
But this man is married, Chomis, and you clearly know.
You know he's happily married, not even just married, Chomis. They're happily married.
You know. So, no, you're not giving, you're not on.
What would you do if you're Rachel Kolisi in this case?
I would just push away, but not aggressively, just like maybe 10 or just like, whoa. And where are the bodyguards?
Exactly. Oh, the police escorts apparently jumped in after they saw the debacle. But
one
Sia
thing about the police, they are going to be late.
They're going to be late. But Sia was so unimpressed. Yo, he was... I wish we could play the video, but he was so unimpressed. He was just like, what are you, why? Honestly speaking, if I was Rachel, I would have found it funny, to be honest, because I'm like, you wish you could be me, but you can't.
I
would have been like, stressed. The thing is, she wasn't there, because I think she recently relocated to France, so yeah. So she wasn't there. But if I heard about this, right, and I'm just there in my house, I'd just be like, oh, that's so cute. They want my mans, but they can't have it.
No, they can. Sometimes they can.
Sometimes they can, but
yeah.
But I mean, in that case, right?
In this scenario, they can't.
They can't.
But they can in general.
They can. Yeah. I mean, a man can only say no so many times, right? Yeah.
Apparently, but we are not men, so we are not going to speak for them.
Exactly.
Now moving over to our next story, Megan Fox is reflecting on a heartbreaking personal chapter in her new book, which is called Poetry, Pretty Boys Are Poisonous. The Transformer actress shares that she suffered a miscarriage while just over 2 months pregnant with her and fiance Machine Gun Kelly's baby. There is an ultrasound by your side of the bed, she writes in a poem, 10 weeks and 1 day. In a separate piece, Megan, who co-parents kids, Noah, who's 10, Body 9, and Jenny 7, with her ex-husband 1, recalls having to say goodbye to her baby. I close my eyes and imagine, she writes, holding you tight against my chest. She later concludes the poem, I'll pay any price. Tell me, please, what is the ransom for her soul? Yeah, such a sad story. And she put it all in a book, and I'm glad that, you know, she's speaking out. She's sharing with the world her pain, and it's just, you know,
it's a way of coping, I think.
Yeah.
Like the fact that
it's also a way of telling other women that you are not alone. Yeah, I'm also going through these things. Let us support one another. It's almost like building an online community or a community of readers that can relate to your personal struggles. I think that a lot of celebrities aren't really transparent with their stories, and for her to come out and just, you know, tell us what she's been going through, how she's been coping, it's a huge step for a celebrity, because celebrities, most of them want to seem perfect, or I have everything together.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to say as well, right? That a lot of the times we believe that celebrities are these other beings, that they're not human beings as well. They don't feel the same way that we do. Another person that has been very open about her miscarriage and pregnancy troubles was Chrissy Teigen, John Legend's wife. She was very open, and she was laying it all out there, even the time that she was crying and she was on the floor. And she was like, it took a lot for me to share such a vulnerable picture, because it's not easy to say goodbye. You're growing this life inside you. You know, you're so excited. And to be honest, 9 months is a long time. So
it's like a full year.
It's like a full year. So you're curious to be like, okay, what is this kid going to look like? And if to just have that ripped away from you.
While we are still on the topic of kids, you know, I have a 4 months baby nephew, so I always wonder what type of person you're going to be. Like, are you going to be talkative? Are you going to be quiet? It's just so fascinating.
But you can already see
that one has a little attitude. If he doesn't like you, it's like,
you already know. So with my daughter, she never liked people touching her hands. So you know how you come, you're like, hey, should do this. And then even if you give her her bottle to hold herself, she'd do this. She didn't like
touching anything.
She doesn't like things on her hands. Even now, if you give her like like if she gets soup on her hands, immediately she's like,
oh,
you know,
okay.
like she hates anything touching her hands. Now, closing off our top stories, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were not invited to King Charles' 75th birthday. Ahead of his 75th birthday, it would appear that King Charles III has not extended an invitation to his son and daughter-in-law, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, for any upcoming gatherings in celebration of the momentous occasion. Following a report from the Sunday Times that stated Prince Harry, 39, and Meghan, 42, had turned down the chance to visit the UK for his father's birthday, a representative for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex has denied that they declined to appear. In their story, the Sunday Times reported that the newly crowned King Charles will celebrate his 75th birthday at Clarence House over the next weekend, ahead of his actual birthday on November 14th. On Monday, however, the Sussex's spokesperson shared an alternative version of the story, saying they had not yet been invited to attend. In response to UK media headlines that there has been no contact regarding an invitation to His Majesty's upcoming birthday, it is disappointing the Sunday Times has misreported the story, a spokesperson for the couple told People.
I'm so over this whole family. Like, everything about them is just dragging. It's not necessary.
It seems like they're fighting to stay in the limelight.
What is this drama? It's tasteless.
Besides, if you decide to cut ties, why are you still touched that, they didn't extend an invitation?
Yeah, why do you want to be invited if you say clearly, you know what, I'm done with you?
Yeah, you guys are toxic, but you're still there. Like, imagine.
So be done. Be done. It's so irritating, guys.
Like, honestly, don't be like that ex in a relationship that your person breaks up with you and 2 weeks later you're like, so is it really over? So it's really over.
Yeah. Like, no, guys, if you're not invited, it's fine. Do you know how many things I'm not invited to in a day?
Don't care.
I do not care.
Yeah.
Like.
No, but even with you, it's completely different. You're too nonchalant. We don't talk about, you really don't care about anything. But with them, they actively made the decision to walk out and they said, the royals are toxic and we're going to do our own thing. So be done.
Yes.
Be done.
Yes.
We're really over this whole Meghan Markle, Prince Harry, Charles debacle. Give us something. Give us some more drama, okay? Something completely
not
different.
even any drama that comes from this
the royal family.
It's just not dramatic enough. It's not drama.
It's
not
dragging.
make sure we are over this conversation. Yes, I understand that you've been done wrong, but so what? Get over it.
Get over it. Life moves on. Move on. But that brings us to the end of our top stories. Now, after the break, Lenora had a very interesting chat about protecting the boy child. Stick around.
Neopaints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neopaints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neopaints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
Now I'm joined by Lloyd Sikeba, a public speaker and the boy child advocate. Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome to Small the Coffee.
Thank you very much.
Getting into it, tell us a bit about yourself. Who is Lloyd Sikeba and why are matters affecting the boy child so important to you?
Well, I think that's one of the hardest questions I always find to answer by myself. But in a nutshell, Lloyd Sikeba is a young person passionate about change and helping young people and organizations find their purpose. Mostly I say that I marry people to their dreams and goals. And I grew up in the north, which is in the part of Rundu, Kavango East region. And basically why the boy child matters to me is because having grown up in a community where I've seen that the boy child was neglected and the boy child was not catered for, was not empowered, and how that has become a toxic ripple effect has brought me to then think about it like, hey, you know what? This couldn't have happened if someone was there for the boy child. And I started asking myself, so who's going to be there? And I told myself, if no one is going to be there, you have to be there.
Yeah, now that brings us directly into our next question. There's an ongoing conversation that the boy child is being left behind because there's a lot of female empowerment, or at least advocating for empowering the young girl child, but we're leaving the boy child. What would you say your take is on this debate?
I think this debate is evident and it's truthful. And the one thing that I always highlight whenever I speak is that empowerment shouldn't be a zero-sum fight that who is being empowered more than the other, but it should be more of like, is everyone receiving equal opportunities? Is everyone receiving the same level of assistance? And it is evident that because of the apartheid regime or how certain things happened in the olden days where it's perceived that the boy child or men were at the upper hand, now everyone sees that, okay, you were at the upper hand. Now let's also get out to the upper hand, which is now trying to play as more like at the cost of someone. And this things in itself, the empowerment of the boy child is less actually out there. It's only coming out little when people are actually seeing the suicidal cases, if I must say.
Yeah, and even at an institutional level, like universities have reported recently that there are more female graduates out there than there are male graduates. In the past, I think 5-10 years, it's declining. Just in terms of that, imagine that, and I can imagine that it's rippling into other sectors as well.
Yes, I think while you speak on that, it reminds me, I did TEDx last year with the University of Namibia, and my TEDx speech was finding a balanced approach is key, in which it was primarily focused on how society can be balanced in terms of the boy child and also the girl child. And then I highlighted 4 concepts, which is IQ, AQ, EQ, and
excuse me, what?
I highlighted on the concepts of IQ, AQ, EQ, and USVC. So IQ, intelligence quotient. Now you'd get to see that a lot of boys or men out there hardly invest within their intelligence or within their books out there, because it's more like, hey, onces bras. We're just going to vibe with it. We're just going to cruise control this thing. But actually, we need the knowledge. And this is what we always advocate and speak about when I engage with the boy child, that, hey, you can't have zero in your head. You have to have something. You have to have something. It doesn't mean that you have to sit in a lecture hall, but if there's a book next to you, you need to find ways to read. And then with EQ, which is emotional intelligence or emotional quotient, now you see that everyone is speaking about the boy child, it's okay to cry. But now the question I always ask, that I recently started asking female friends, is that, are you ready when the boy child starts crying in your face? Oh. And still on that is that when in terms of emotional intelligence, is that the boy child does not actually express most of the time. They basically keep inside, and that in itself, it's a problem, because the moment you keep inside your emotions, you explode. Just like a water bottle, if it doesn't open up, the moment it drops, it will explode. And when it explodes, this is where it explodes within violence, within criminal activities, within theft, all these things that we label the boy child or men in today's society, because emotions have been jam-packed inside. And then we come to the point of AQ, adversity quotient. Adversity quotient, this is what has happened in the past. You see, what has happened in the past and how am I dealing with it now? Growing up as a boy child, I was told that, hey, you are a man, you need to do this. And because you need to do this, that has already programmed me growing up that, hey, this is what I'm supposed to do. But then we live in a modern society that is ever changing and ever growing and ever evolving. And this is the same thing that I say, that it's hard to blame someone who growing up was only taught those basics, that this is what you need to do as a boy child.
And they don't know how to operate outside the perimeters of that box.
Yes, and because they don't know how to operate outside those perimeters, it affects everything they do. And I think just the last one, which is USV, is unconditional social validation. Unconditional social validation is that, look at this in this perspective. You wake up in the morning looking beautiful, obvious. You have a female friend that will tell you, you know what, you look so beautiful. And you still get another male even along the way that, my sister, you look beautiful. To the boy child, they would walk out looking stunning. No other man would say they look good. It will be perceived as homophobic or like, nah, bro, why are you saying this and all that. But it's needed, because, and then in terms of USV, there is support in terms to the girl child, like, hey, you fell down, rise up, girl, we got you. The boy child, you fell down, they'll be like, me, bruche sabra. Rise up again.
Yes, that's so true. I mean, I know of guys that have told me, like, they got a compliment 5 years back by a girl, and that's the thing that keeps them going. And I get compliments every day. Wow. What would you say, can you recommend in terms of making sure that either gender doesn't feel left behind?
I think one thing I'd recommend that either gender doesn't feel left behind is that there's a need of equal opportunities in terms of empowerment, because it's becoming a crisis, and the boy child is seeing this evidently. And some African speakers or philosophers will tell you that the moment you see other people eat alone and you're not eating, you find a way to destroy their joy. And in terms of equal opportunities, I spoke about this previously on a TV show, and I said that there's certain things, such as even with job opportunities, there's a certain critique whereby it strictly says women, people with disability are highly are recommended or advised, but you hardly see men and boys. So already that puts you in a state of, as a boy child, a man that, okay, am I not part of this math? And that just starts on terms of equal opportunity. Number two is that we need to start acknowledging that how do we coexist with each other? Because the damage has already happened. What I advocate and what I teach mostly with the boy child is that, listen, we're not going to fight a games of numbers, but we're going to ensure that we all understand each other and we can live in one room. And not only is that in terms of equal opportunities, but also looking at resilience. How can both men and women stand together for the same discourse and purpose?
Wow.
That was a very insightful interview, because, you know, most of the time men are not, they're told to be bold and brave, and men should not cry. Men should have this toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
It's good that, you know, he's advocating for men to go for therapy, for men to seek the help that they need. So with that said, we have come to the end of our little show. We do hope you enjoyed spending some time with me, Diana Master, and Aina Riza Kweyo on Smell the Coffee. Until tomorrow, it is all our love, all our light, and adios.